I heard about AIESEC when I was just looking for summer opportunities through the Global Programs website at Keenan Flagler, the business school.
I have a few friends that were involved with AIESEC, but mostly I just noticed their involvement on campus, like flyers and information sessions they were holding. I was really interested in doing an internship abroad, so that's what made me look further into it.
I was actually walking last year one day through the pit and saw a table that said, you know, like internships abroad, or it had like an AIESEC flag on it or a little banner. But the opportunity to kind of do an internship abroad was really something I hadn't thought about.
So, as far as unique things about Uganda besides the language, I didn't know that much about it. Like, I knew very little of the history, and I figured I'd just go find out when I got there.
And I had actually never studied Portuguese before. I studied French, but for some reason I really wanted to go to Brazil. But it was a little random, but I fell in love with the country while I was there. So. The idea of being a foreigner who doesn't speak any Portuguese and traveling by yourself was a little scary, but it went totally fine. Right away I noticed Brazilians are really friendly and open, and my taxi driver was talking to me really quickly. I would say like after the first month I was conversational in Portuguese, and this was from no prior background, just because it was so immersive. Like my whole family, my host family only spoke Portuguese, and the AIESEC community made me feel welcome right away. I felt like I made a ton of friends within my first week. So after that first week or two, I really felt at home.
Then we all took a bus to this camp in northern Greece, and like a sports camp with like thousands of kids, and then I started coaching basketball and teaching English.
I spent 2 weeks in Kampala, Uganda, and I taught a class on entrepreneurship and business plan writing to university students. So we looked at how the market is and some basic entrepreneurship principles, and helped them decide on an idea that could like feasibly work in Uganda, and then they wrote a business plan about it.
So I was teaching English at a small private English school, and my students were mostly adults or college students. And then I was also working with an NGO that was with like environmental education.
It was very much kind of a immersion into this culture.
Well, I definitely think it was different than staying abroad, because you're really into the culture.
One, I really like how immersive the AIESEC experience was. I would say all of my friends that I made were Brazilian. You know, all the people I interacted with on a day-to-day basis were Brazilian. And I got a really personal and in-depth look at the culture.
You know, you're not in a university setting, so you see like all kinds of people, and you interact with those people and rely on them and work with them. You know, after the first 4 or 5 weeks, you kind of get a sense of where the neighborhoods are and where to tell them to go, and how to say how much money does it cost in their local language, because then they'll give you a better price. And so that's really neat, like kind of learning how to live in a city and not just visit.
You know, like through my host family and through my close friends there, I was able to see like family events and like weddings, and just I really felt like I had a very authentic and immersive experience. Whereas sometimes when you're with the study abroad program, when you're with a lot of other foreigners or students, you kind of just stay a foreigner your entire time. When you travel, more than learning a culture or language or, you know, how to samba, you really learn a lot about yourself. And that sounds cliche, but I really learned how to be independent and do my own thing, because like I said, you know, I had to really take a lot of initiative to learn Portuguese, and I had to reach out to people that I wanted to become friends with, because I was a foreigner and I was going to stay a long time, and I had to really think about what I wanted to do, and it really just, it honestly really made me a lot more sure of myself in terms of making decisions, knowing what I need to do for myself, a lot more independent.
And it's not just, you know, boil it down what kind of put on my resume. It's the learning how to take the taxis to that one little neighborhood way off on the other side of the city, or, you what local restaurant serves the best food for the cheapest price, or what little things you can say to a local that will, help them get along better with you. The experiences day to day are, I think, what make them.
The AIESECers there, people from Greece, a girl from China that was already there. They all met me at the train station and had like a big sign that said like welcome John, and that kind of stuff. So
I can't speak for all the Brazilian AIESEC groups, but the one in Juiz de Fora was really great because the AIESECers really hung out together as friends, and they were really outgoing, and even if they weren't exactly AIESEC members, they would connect me with like AIESEC alumni or like previous members or people who had done exchanges. So every weekend I was being invited on a trip or like to go to Rio, and Brazilians in general are just really friendly and open and outgoing. So I made a lot of really amazing friendships there.
Something that I learned that I think I didn't realize till after I got back was I learned to listen better, actually, like in the course of a conversation, because not being able to speak the language, it kind of made me realize I took for granted listening.
You have to really be proactive while you're there, because it's a harder exchange experience than going on a trip to somewhere in Europe with like 20 other people from your college. But I think in the end, it's value la pena. It's worth the pain out there, and I've really just got a very personal view and experience of what it is to be a Brazilian, which I wouldn't have been able to do in any other circumstance.
You really have to kind of have a sense of independence and ability to adapt more so in this kind of situation versus a kind of a tailor-made program. So I was going to tell the guy in charge, an older guy, that I was leaving the next day. It was the end of my internship. And so as I'm talking to him, he turns around and tells the rest of them, it was probably a group of like 40 in this like little auditorium or stadium or whatever. And he told them that I was going to be leaving the next morning. And all of a sudden they all started like standing up and clapping and like saying like thank you, and, we'll miss you and goodbye and everything. So that was kind of cool.
Like one thing that was really special to me was I was there during As Dias de Santo Antônio, which is like the Brazilian Valentine's Day, and I found myself like on a farm with a huge group of Brazilians. They're all family and cousins and stuff, and I had a really good friend of mine, Jonathan, who had taken me there. And we like went horseback riding, we fed chickens, there's banana trees growing, and then like at night we were drinking cachaça and they were teaching me how to dance, and we were doing chocolagnac, and then I just remember thinking like never in a million years would I have pictured myself, drinking cachaça on this farm, just in the middle of Brazil with these people that I just like am in love with, that I really felt included as part of the family.
My name is Laurel Lobline. I'm a sophomore business major at UNC, and this past summer I went to Uganda with AIESEC Chapel Hill.
Hi, I'm John Short, and I'm a junior, management and society major, and this past summer I went to Greece with the AIESEC program.
Hey, my name is Yuen Ho, and I'm a junior economics and comparative literature major at UNC Chapel Hill. And this past summer in 2010, I went on a development internship through AIESEC to Juiz de Fora in Brazil.